Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with December finds, the books that I added to my TBR list in December. These are not on my immediate TBR, just on my general list of books that I want to read one day. So the first one that I added in December was Notes on a Nervous Planet. This is nonfiction, self-help, mental health, memoir, essays. It's a follow-up to Matt Haig's internationally best-selling memoir, Reasons to Stay Alive, a broader look at how modern life feeds our anxiety and how to live a better life. This has a very high average rating. Everyone seems to really enjoy this, and I'm excited to read it one day. I completely forgot about it, to be honest. But now that I'm on the Goodreads page, I remember this. Next is The Box in the Woods. This is the fourth book in the Truly Devious series. The first three books were part of my top 10 books of 2020. I loved that series, and the arc of those first three books ended on the third book. The mystery was resolved, everything was tied together. So this fourth book, it says, the Truly Devious series continues as Stevie Bell investigates her first mystery outside of Ellingham Academy in this spine-chilling and hilarious standalone mystery. Oh, it's a standalone. Anyway, I loved obviously the first three books, so I cannot wait for more. Then I have Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. I hope I pronounced that correctly, by the way. This was recommended by Tara North. I will link her channel below. It's nonfiction, self-help, philosophy. Okay, and it says bring meaning and joy to all your days with the internationally best-selling guide to Ikigai. According to the Japanese, everyone has an Ikigai, a reason for living. Ikigai.
How do you go about pronouncing it? Ikigai.
I was saying that right. And according to the residents of the Japanese island of Okinawa, the world's longest living people, finding it is the key to a happier and longer life. It's a short book. It's under 200 pages, and Tara really enjoyed it, and yeah, I wanna read it. Then is The Afterlife of Holly Chase. I'm just frantically trying to remember why I added all these books. Okay, I'm just reading this genres: fantasy, young adult, Christmas, retellings, paranormal, contemporary. On Christmas Eve 5 years ago, Holly was visited by three ghosts who showed her how selfish and spoiled she'd become. They tried to convince her to mend her ways. Christmas Carol retelling. She didn't, and then she died. Now she's stuck working for the top secret company Project Scrooge as the latest ghost of Christmas past. Every year they save another miserly grouch. Every year Holly stays frozen at 17 while her family and friends go on living without her. So far, Holly's afterlife has been miserable, but this year everything is about to change. Oh my god, it sounds awesome. I literally have no memory of reading this synopsis. Yikes. It has pretty good ratings. It's 3.99, which is almost a 4-star average rating, which is very high. So I added this to my TBR, so I must have known about it. It was only a month ago. Why did I forget it? Then there's Ace of Spades. Let's see how to pronounce this name.
Hi, my name is Farida Abike Aimide, and
Farida Abike Aimide. Again, this cover looks very familiar, but I don't remember what it's about. The genres are young adult, contemporary, LGBT, thriller, fiction, mystery. Interesting. And oh my god, incendiary and utterly compelling thriller with a shocking twist that delves deep into the heart of institutionalized racism from an exceptional new YA voice. Welcome to Niveau Private Academy, where money paves the hallways and the students are never less than perfect. Until now, because anonymous texter Aces is bringing down two students' dark secrets to life. Talented musician Devon buries himself in rehearsals, but he can't escape the spotlight when his private photos go public. head girl, Chimaka isn't afraid to get what she wants, but soon everyone will know the price she has paid for power. Everyone is out to get them both, someone who holds all the aces, and they're planning much more than a high school game. This is reminiscent to me of several YA mysteries that I read. There's like an anonymous person texting everyone's secrets. I think I read that 3 times in a YA mystery. So I'm actually excited to see how this one will be different. Oh, it's a future release. I'm very bad at this. It's supposed to come out in June 2021. There you go. I know nothing. Then I added Black and British, a short essential history by David Olusoga. I have to Google many names today.
This evening we are joined by David
Olusoga. I've recently heard a lot of people talk about this book. So apparently David Olusoga has a book called Black and British Forgotten History, which is a book about Black people in the history of Britain, like a large non-fiction book for adults. And in October he published the short essential history, which is like for younger readers, and it's only 200 pages long. It's like children's version of the Black and British. And a lot of people who I've heard this book, oh my god, a lot of people who have talked about this book mentioned that after reading this they want to read the like full version, Black and British. I want to follow in their footsteps. I don't know a lot about Black history, and pretty much everything that I know relates to Black people in the US. So I'm excited to read about Britain. And yeah, it says a short essential introduction to Black British history. When did Africans first come to Britain? Who are the well-dressed Black children in Georgian paintings? Why did the American Civil War disrupt the Industrial Revolution? These and many other questions are answered in this essential introduction to 1800 years of the Black British history, from the Roman Africans who guarded Hadrian's Wall right up to the present day. Next is Range, why generalists triumph in a oh my god. Range, why generalists Range, why generalists triumph in a specialized world. This is nonfiction, business, psychology, self-help, science, personal development, education. Everything I love. It says, what's the most effective path to success in any domain? It's not what you think. Plenty of experts argue that anyone who wants to develop a skill, play an instrument, or lead their field should start early, focus intensely, and rack up as many hours of deliberate practice as possible. If you dabble or delay, you'll never catch up to the people who got a head start. But a closer look at research on the world's top performers, from professional athletes to Nobel laureates, shows that early specialization is the exception, not the rule. It has a very high average rating. It came out in 2019. I have very high hopes for this because I am not an expert at anything. I speak like 4 languages, none of them well. I started so many hobbies and I never did something my whole life. Like, there's a part of me that really longs for a life where you live in one place your whole life. You have one school that you go to. You, I don't know, choose ballet or music, and you do that from the time you're like 5, and you become very good at what you do, but that's the only thing you do. There's a big part of me that like really craves that, because everything that I do, I always feel like I'm not trained enough. I haven't done that for long enough. I'm not an expert at. So I hope this book will make me feel better about, you know, knowing a little bit about many things, but not actually being great not great. What am I trying to say? But not being an expert at something. You did not need to hear that. Okay, next is Mr. Dickens and His Carol. Now, Rosie in December, and I'll link her channel below, she read a book, a non-fiction book about Charles Dickens, and it was supposed to be about how he wrote the Christmas Carol, what his life was like before he wrote it, what were the circumstances of him needing to write that. And I thought it was very interesting, but then I found this book, and this is actually a fiction book about the same thing, how Charles Dickens came to write the Christmas Carol. The genres are historical fiction, Christmas, historical, holiday fiction. And it says Charles Dickens should be looking forward to Christmas, but when his latest book, Martin Chuzzlewit, is a flop, his publishers give him an ultimatum. Either he writes a Christmas book in a month, or they will call in his debts and he could lose everything. Dickens has no choice but to grudgingly accept. And I really want to read this, but I do want to read that non-fiction book that Rosie read before this, so I have the actual facts, and then go into the fiction version of the events. And that book is The Man Who Invented Christmas by Les Standiford. Next is People of Abandoned Character. I have no memory of this one as well. Oh, this is great. Oh, it came out in October 2020. Let's, find out together then. Genres: historical fiction, mystery, crime, thriller, Victorian, suspense. London, 1888. Susanna rushes into marriage to a young and wealthy surgeon. After a passionate honeymoon, she returns home with her new husband wrapped around her little finger, but then everything changes. Thomas's behavior becomes increasingly volatile and violent. He stays out all night, returning home bloodied and full of secrets. The gentle caresses she enjoyed on her wedding night are now just a honeyed memory. When the first woman is murdered in Whitechapel, Susanna's interest is piqued. But as she follows the reports of the ongoing hunt for the killer, her mind takes her down the darkest path imaginable. Every time Thomas stays out late, another victim is found dead. Is it coincidence, or is her husband the man they call Jack the Ripper? Oh, I remember this now. Yes, I want to read this one. It has pretty good ratings. Next is Ariadne. I mentioned this in one of my videos as one of the 2021 releases I'm looking forward to the most. It comes out in May. It's fantasy, mythology, retelling, historical fiction, adult. A mesmerizing retelling of the ancient Greek myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. Perfect for fans of Circe, A Song of Achilles, two of my favorite books, and The Silence of the Girls that I have yet to read. The princesses of Crete and daughters of the fearsome king Minos, Ariadne and her sister Phaedra grow up hearing the hoofbeats and bellows of the Minotaur echo from the labyrinth beneath the palace. The Minotaur, Minos's greatest shame and Ariadne's brother, demands blood every year. When Theseus, prince of Athens, arrives in Crete as a sacrifice to the beast, Ariadne falls in love with him. But helping Theseus kill the monster means betraying her family and country, and Ariadne knows only too well that in a world ruled by mercurial gods, drawing their attention can cost you everything. In a world where women are nothing more than pawns of powerful men, will Ariadne's decision to betray Crete for Theseus ensure her happy ending, or will she find herself sacrificed for her lover's ambition? I think I already mentioned this before. The Minotaur is my favorite Greek myth. When I was younger, I don't remember how old, like I'm gonna say 13, I visited Crete with my family and we went to the palace of Minos, which is where the Minotaur was, and I remember we had a tour and it was fascinating. And right there and then I decided to be an archaeologist, and I wanted to be the one to uncover all the secrets of the Minos civilization. When we came back home, mom bought me, I think, like 2 books on Crete, and I read them all and I was super passionate, and then I forgot about it. I would blame this on me being a Gemini and getting very excited about things very intensely, and then sort of cooling off and changing my mind. Next are two books that were recommended to me by Amrita by the book. I'm gonna link her channel in the description below. She has been talking about Georgette Heyer for a while and I've never heard of this author, and she recommended two romances to start getting into her books with, Frederica and Venetia. Georgette Heyer, if you're like me and you don't know, she was a prolific historical romance and detective fiction novelist from the 1920s. When Amrita recommended these books, she did mention the premises of these books. I promptly forgot about them. But Venetia sounds better just because I love the name, Venetia. Sounds beautiful. Then is The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. This one I got from a video by Book Bully. Fiction, historical fiction, war, classics, short stories. In this, his second work of fiction about Vietnam, O'Brien's unique artistic vision is again clearly demonstrated. Neither a novel nor a short story collection, it is an arc of fictional episodes taking place in the childhoods of its characters in the jungles of Vietnam and back home in America 2 decades later. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this except the way she talked about this book got me really excited about this, and I'm gonna link her channel below. Even As We Breathe, and this came out in September 2020. It's the genres are historical fiction, adult mystery, World War II. It has under 300 ratings, but the average rating is 4 stars, so it's pretty good. So this follows an indigenous 20-year-old Cowley Sequoia in the mountains of western North Carolina during the summer of 1942. He's spending the season as an undervalued member of the Grove Park Inn's ground crew. The inn is currently home to Axis diplomats and their families being held as prisoners of war. When a diplomat's young daughter goes missing at the inn, Cowney finds himself in the center of suspicion and betrayal. Cowney's experience is an examination of race and class tangled in a microcosm of the secluded inn. His story asks the reader to consider the tropes of American imprisonment and our role as both prisoners and imprisoners. Cowney finally comes to reason that all three national elements that cause so many problems in life, bones, blood, and skin color, will not be what remain of humankind in the end. Only the human spirit can be passed on wholly to the new generation. To the next generation. Yeah, excited for that one. Next is The Mystery of Mrs. Christie. So apparently in 1926, Agatha Christie went missing and then she came back and had no memory of where she was, where she went. I had no idea. The genres are historical fiction, mystery fiction, historical fiction, mystery, thriller, adult. This book uncovers the untold story of Agatha Christie's mysterious 11-day disappearance. In December 1926, Agatha Christie goes missing. Investigators find her empty car on the edge of a deep, gloomy pond. The only clues, some tire tracks nearby and a fur coat left in the car. Strange for a frigid night. Her husband and daughter have no knowledge of her whereabouts, and England unleashes an unprecedented manhunt to find the up-and-coming mystery author. 11 days later, she reappears just as mysteriously as she disappeared, claiming amnesia and providing no explanations for her time away. The puzzle of those missing 11 days has persisted. With her trademark exploration into the shadows of history, acclaimed author Mary Benedict brings us into the world of Agatha Christie, imagining why such a brilliant woman would find herself at the center of such a murky story. What is real and what is mystery? I mean, I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm really excited. It's coming out. Oh no, it came out in December 2020. December 29th, it just came out. Next is The War Widow. Genres historical fiction, mystery, crime, thriller. Again, I don't really remember adding this one, but okay. The war may be officially over, but journalist Billy Walker's search for a missing young immigrant man will plunge her right back into the danger and drama she thought she left behind in Europe in this thrilling tale of courage and secrets set in glamorous post-war Sydney. That's all I know and I don't need to know anything more. I realized that in 2020 I didn't really read any historical fiction, or like very little of it, so I'm excited to get back on the historical fiction train. Next is Dirty Little Secrets by Joe Spain. Oh, I remember this one. So as the year was ending, a lot of the Moscow book stores were doing their like 100 top books of 2020, and I was looking through those lists, and most books I haven't even heard of. But this one was on the list as like a mystery thriller, and again, I've never heard of it, and I thought it would be interesting to see if it was any good. So the genres are thriller, mystery, fiction, crime, Ireland. 6 neighbors, 6 secrets, 6 reasons to want Olive Collins dead. In the exclusive gated community of Withered Vale, people's lives appear as perfect as their beautifully manicured lawns. Money, success, privilege, their residents have it all. Life is good. There's just one problem. Olive Collins's dead body has been rotting inside number 4 for the last 3 months. Her neighbors say they're shocked at the discovery, but nobody thought to check on her when she vanished from sight. The police start to ask questions, and the seemingly flawless facade begins to crack, because when it comes to Olive's neighbors, it seems each of them has something to hide. It seems like a very straightforward mystery thriller, but I'm intrigued because it was on the list of like the best 100 books, and also because it's an Irish author. I feel like most mystery thrillers that I read are American, and maybe even though the premise is just like any other mystery thriller ever, hopefully because it comes from an Irish writer, it will be different, it will play out differently. I don't know. Next is Agrippina, Empress, Exile, Hustler, Whore by Emma Southon. So I've been talking so much on this channel about A Fatal Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. It's one of my like favorite nonfiction books that I read last year, and I just read the Tiny Penguin Pocket Library little black book about Caligula, and Agrippina was Caligula's mom. So when I was looking through Emma Southon's books, I recognized the name Agrippina, and on the cover it says a biography of the most extraordinary woman in the Roman world. I was hooked, and I am really excited to read this. And the last 2 books on this list are Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss and To Sell is Human, The Surprising Truth About Moving Others by Daniel Pink. Both of these books I got because of the like masterclass ad. I love those ads so much. I always watch them to the end. I would, in a perfect world, love to like do all the masterclasses, to watch all the videos that are on that website. So Never Split the Difference. Chris Voss is a former international hostage negotiator for the FBI and offers new field-tested approach to high-stakes negotiations, whether in the boardroom or at home. And this book was actually mentioned in the I'd Rather Be Reading book as like a book that came to the author at like the perfect time when she was trying to sell the house, and like that book really helped her in her life, and it sounds so fascinating. I really want to read it. And then To Sell is Human, surprisingly useful new book that explores the power of selling in our lives. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, 1 in 9 Americans works in sales. Every day, more than 15 million people earn their keep by persuading someone else to make a purchase. But dig deeper and a starting truth emerges. Yes, 1 in 9 Americans works in sales, but so do the other 8. I really liked the ad for his masterclass, and I thought I would start with his book. And these are all the December finds. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if any of these sound interesting to you, or if maybe you've read any of these, and I will see you in my next video.